Win-win, the all-you-can-eat buffet. Win-win is a belief that everyone can win. It's both nice and tough all at once. I won't step on you, but I won't be your doormat either. You care about other people and you want them to succeed. But you also care about yourself and you want to succeed as well. Win-win is abundant. It's the belief that there's plenty of success to go around. It's not either you or me, it's both of us. It's not a matter of who gets the biggest piece of pie. There's more than enough food for everyone. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet. My friend Dawn shared how she discovered the power of thinking win-win in 10th grade. In high school, I played on the girls' basketball team. I was pretty good for my age and tall enough to be starter on the varsity team, even though I was just sophomore. And my friend Pam, another sophomore, was also moved up to be a starter on the varsity squad. I had a sweet little shot I could hit quite regularly from 10 feet out. Seriously, it worked every time. I began making 4 or 5 of those shots a game and began getting recognized for it. Pam obviously didn't like all the attention I was getting and decided, consciously or not, to keep the ball from me. It didn't matter how open I was for the shot. Pam flat out stopped passing the ball to me. One night, after playing a terrible game in which Pam kept the ball from me most of the game, I was as mad as I had ever been. I spent many hours talking with my dad, going over everything, and expressing my anger toward my friend-turned-enemy, Pam. After a long discussion, my dad told me that the best thing he could think of would be to give Pam the ball every time I got it. Every time. I thought it was literally the stupidest thing he had ever told me. He simply told me it would work and left me at the kitchen table to think about it. But I didn't. I knew it wouldn't work and put it aside as silly fatherly advice. At the next game, I was determined to beat Pam at her own game. I planned and plotted and came out with a mission to ruin Pam's game. On my first possession of the ball, I heard my dad above the crowd. He had a booming voice, and though I shut out everything around me while playing basketball, I could always hear Dad's deep voice. At the moment I caught the ball, he yelled out, "Give her the ball!" I hesitated for 1 second and then did what I knew was right. Although I was open for a shot, I found Pam and passed her the ball. She was shocked for a moment, then turned and shot, seeking the ball for 2 points. As I ran down the court to play defense, I got a feeling I'd never felt before. True joy for the success of another person. And even more, I realized that it put us ahead in the game. It felt good to be winning. I continued to give her the ball every time I got it in the first half. Every time. In the second half, I did the same, only shooting if it was a designed play or if I was wide open for a shot. We won that game, and in the games that followed, Pam began to pass me the ball as much as I passed it to her. Our teamwork was getting way stronger, and so was our friendship. We won the majority of our games that year and became kind of legendary at school. The local paper even did a write-up on our ability to pass to each other and sense each other's presence. Overall, I scored more points than ever before. You see, win-win always creates more, an endless buffet. And as Dawn discovered, wanting another person to win fills you full of good feelings. By passing the ball, Dawn didn't score fewer points, but eventually scored more. In fact, they both scored more points and won more games than if they had selfishly kept the ball from each other. You probably do more win-win thinking than you give yourself credit for. The following are all examples of the win-win attitude. You recently got a promotion at the ice cream shop you work at. You share the praise and recognition with all those who helped you get there. You were just elected to an important school office and make up your mind not to develop a superiority complex. You treat everyone the same, including kids that are outsiders or sit alone in the cafeteria. Your best friend just got accepted at the college you wanted to get into. You didn't make it. Although you feel terrible about your own situation, you are genuinely happy for your friend. You want to get dinner. Your friend wants to see a movie. You jointly decide to download a movie and order in food to eat at home. How to think win-win. So, how do you do it? How can you be happy for your friend when he just got accepted into a college and you didn't? How can you avoid feeling inferior to the girl next door who has those cheekbones? How can you find solutions to problems so that both of you can win? Might I suggest 2 clues? Win the private victory first and avoid the tumor twins. Trust me, you'll see. Win the private victory first. It all begins with you. If you're extremely insecure and haven't paid the price to win the private victory, it'll be difficult to think win-win. You'll still be threatened by other people. It'll be hard to be happy for their successes or to share recognition or praise. Insecure people get jealous very easily. This chat between Austin and his girlfriend is typical of an insecure person. Amy, who's the dude who keeps liking all your posts on Tumblr? Asked Austin. Who? You mean John? He's an old friend I went to camp with, said Amy. Why do you respond to all his comments? Because he's my friend. I've known him for a long time. We went to elementary school together. Then why is he all over you like that? Rants Austin. Austin, it's not a big thing. He liked like 2 pictures. Well, he should leave you alone. Austin, you already know you're the one I want to be with. My guy friends are just that, friends. Can you see how impossible it would be for Austin to be comfortable in this situation when he's this insecure and emotionally dependent upon his girlfriend? Austin needs to start with himself. As he makes deposits into his PBA, takes responsibility for his life, and gets a plan in place, his confidence and security will increase, and he'll start enjoying other people instead of being threatened by them. Personal security is the foundation for thinking win-win. Avoid the tumor twins. There are 2 habits that, like tumors, can slowly eat you away from the inside. They are twins, and their names are competing and comparing. It's virtually impossible to think win-win with them around. Competing. Competition can be extremely healthy. It drives us to improve, to reach and stretch. Without it, we would never know how far we could push ourselves. For example, the glory of the Olympic Games is all about excellence and competition, and it motivates young men and women to work hard and become amazing athletes. In the business world, competition drives innovation and growth. But there is another side to competition that isn't so nice. In the movie Star Wars, Luke Skywalker learns about a positive energy shield called the Force, which gives life to all things. Later, Luke confronts the evil Darth Vader, and learns about the dark side of the Force. As Darth puts it, you don't know the power of the dark side. So it is with competition. There is a sunny side and a dark side, and both are powerful. The difference is this: competition is healthy when you compete against yourself, or when it challenges you to reach and stretch and become your best. Competition becomes dark when you tie your self-worth into winning, or when you can use it as a way to place yourself above another. While reading a book called The Inner Games of Tennis by W. Timothy Gallwey, I found some words that say it perfectly. Tim wrote, "When competition is used as a means of creating a self-image relative to others, the worst in a person comes out. Then the ordinary fears and frustrations become greatly exaggerated. It is as if some believe that only by being the best, only by being a winner, will they be eligible for the love and respect they seek. Children who have been taught to measure themselves in this way often become adults driven by a compulsion to succeed, which overshadows all else." A famous college coach once said that the 2 worst traits an athlete can have are a fear of failure and an inordinate desire to win, or a win-at-any-cost attitude. I'll never forget an argument I had with my younger brother after his team beat mine in a game of beach volleyball. "I can't believe you guys beat us," I said, shaking my head in disbelief. "What's unbelievable about that?" he replied. "You think you're a better athlete than me?" "I know I am. I mean, no offense, bro, but look at the evidence. I went way further than you in sports." "But you're using your own narrow definition of what an athlete is. Frankly, I'm a better athlete because I can jump higher and run faster." "Bull, you're not faster than me. And what does jumping have to do with anything? I can kick your butt in every sport." "Oh yeah? You want to go there?" "Yeah, I do, actually." When we both calmed down, we both felt like immature man-children. We'd been seduced by the dark side, and the dark side never leaves you with a good aftertaste. Let's use competition as a benchmark to measure ourselves against, but let's stop competing over boyfriends, girlfriends, status, friends, popularity, attention, and just start enjoying life. Comparing. Comparing is competition's twin. and it's just as cancerous. Comparing yourself to others is nothing but bad news. Why? Because we're all on different developmental timetables, socially, mentally, and physically. Since we all bake differently, we shouldn't keep opening the oven door to see how well our cake is rising compared to our neighbors, or our cake won't rise at all. Although some of us are like the poplar tree, which grows like a weed the moment it's planted, others are like the bamboo tree, which shows no strength for years, but then grows 90 feet in year 5. I once heard it described this way: life is like a great obstacle course. Each person has their own course, separated from every other course by tall walls. Your course comes complete with customized obstacles designed specifically for your personal growth. So what good does it do to climb the wall to see how well your neighbor is doing, or to check his obstacles out in comparison to your own? That'll just distract you from your own obstacles. Building your life based on how you stack up compared to others is never good footing. If I get my security from the fact that my GPA is higher than yours, or my friends are more popular than yours, then what happens when someone comes along with a higher GPA, or more popular friends? Comparing ourselves makes us feel like a wave of the sea tossed to and fro by the wind. We go up and down, feeling inferior one moment and superior the next, confident one moment and intimidated the next. The only good comparison is comparing yourself against your own potential. Actress, singer, and songwriter Ariana Grande has taken Hollywood and the internet by storm. But even with her fame, she's managing to maintain a healthy attitude when it comes to her body image and comparisons. As she says, too many young girls have eating disorders due to low self-esteem and distorted body image. I think it's so important for girls to love themselves and to treat their bodies respectfully. Ariana goes on to say that sometimes people can be extraordinarily judgmental and closed-minded to anyone different or special, which is why it's so hard for young people in this day and age to be comfortable enough in their own skin to not listen to the people picking on them. Be happy with being you. Love your flaws. Own your quirks. And know that you are just as perfect as anyone else, exactly as you are. Maybe this refreshingly healthy attitude is why everyone loves her and her music, and why she has so many Twitter followers. Let's hope this sweet actress, singer, dancer can continue to be such an inspiration. I once interviewed a girl named Anne who got caught in the web of comparisons for several years before managing to escape. She has a message for those who are caught. My problem started in freshman year when I entered Clayton Valley High School. Most of the kids there had money. How you looked and dressed was everything. The big question was, who is wearing what today? There were so many unspoken rules about clothes. You could never wear the same thing twice, and you could never wear the same thing as someone else. Brand names and expensive jeans were everything. You had to have every color, every style. I had a boyfriend who was a junior and whom my parents didn't like. Our relationship was good at first, but after a while he started making me feel self-conscious. He'd say stuff like, "Why can't you look like her? How come you're so fat? If you just changed a little bit, you'd be just right." I began to believe my boyfriend. I'd look at other girls and analyze all the reasons I wasn't as good as them. Even though I had a closet full of clothes, I remember having anxiety attacks because I couldn't decide what to wear. I even began shoplifting because I wanted to have the latest and the best clothes. After a while, who I was hinged on who I was with, what I looked like, and what kind of clothes I had on. I never felt good enough for anyone. To cope, I started binging and purging. Eating gave me comfort, and purging gave me some twisted kind of control. Although I wasn't fat, I was so scared of being fat. It soon became a big part of my life. I started throwing up 30 to 40 times a day. I'd do it at school, in the bathroom, and anywhere else I could find. It was my secret. I couldn't tell my parents because I didn't want to let them down.